Hey, what is up guys, Raven here, and let's talk about Soulslikes. So yesterday was Gamescom, and I know if you've noticed, but there's something that kind of annoying. By the way, gameplay is mine, it's from Ravenreset who plays channel. This is, as you can see, is still private because it doesn't have thing. So yeah, this is my gameplay of Wu Chang. Alright, but let's go back to the whole thing. So I felt like literally every second or third game they've showed was a Souls-like game, and I am feeling this fatigue of how many can you have in such a short span of time. Because when you think about it, right, when Dark Souls was coming out and Bloodborne, there were breaks in between, right? You had time to breathe and, well, to miss them, right? And currently we literally had a couple of months ago Berserk of Kazan. Now there's Wu Chang. There's something coming out also. I mean, Black Myth Wukong came to Xbox, right? We had the Elden Ring Night Rain. So many things, right? Lords of the Fallen Patch 2.0, Astoria, whatever that, I forgot the name of that. And there are just many, many more coming. And I was watching this whole thing and I was like, for who this is? Because it's just too much. You're getting, the market oversaturated. Oh, I died. It's really to the point where I'm looking at the trailer and I'm not happy to see Souls-like anymore. I'm not happy to be like, oh, it's gonna be a great challenge. I'm looking at it and I go like, well, that's a copy-paste thing. And especially after, going through Wu Chang, right after playing Wu Kang, I call Wu Chang, I feel that developers just go on this train and success of Elden Ring, and now this is the whole thing that comes out, right? Because it's been quite some time after the Elden Ring success and release. And let's be honest, I feel the fatigue. I was playing Wu Chang. I enjoyed the game, don't get me wrong. I think it's a really good game. It has really good level design. The fact that, as you can see even in this video here, right, you have shrines literally near every single boss, if it's optional, because this one is optional, Baikaro, I believe that was his name, or the main one, you do have those shrines, which is great, things like that. But then you look overall, right, at the games, and again, this is what I'm going to use as an example, Wu Chang, because this is, I beat it last week, I think, or like a couple of days ago. So you have, maybe not you have, but you play and you feel that, especially during boss battles, that you have this thing that you don't matter, right? That the build you have, no, because you should only do one. There's no couple of approaches. There are bosses just made to be, and it's my main thing when I look at bosses, because again, bosses are made to be millennia, I think, right? Developers think that we want millennias, that we want those bosses with infinite combos and really small windows of them actually being vulnerable, right? Or them not really showing that, hey, this is the attack, right? That's kind of this is where this is gonna land. Of course, this boss, yeah, different thing, because this one is quite easier to read, a bit unpredictable at some points, but yeah, still. And people would say yeah, it's a skill issue, right? Or things like that, but it's not. It's, again, you look at Wu Chang, you have Honlong, right? This the boss that is, people say, first skill check. Yeah, and later when you fight other bosses, right? So let's say, for example, the white-robed guy, right, in a temple. This, again, an example of a boss that you either kind of cheese it, because if you're at the distance of him, he'll repeat the same move, right? Or you're screwed, because he's doing this infinite attack, one-hit combos, one-shotting you, which is, not something, again, you give me Shrine next to it, it's great, I can repeat it, but it's not fun. I do genuinely think that they keep forgetting that this is supposed to be enjoyable, right? Like, there is a reason why you have people creating, books or, videos or, the threads on Reddit that Souls-like games like Dark Souls help them through depression, help them through, hard times and moments. And I had the same thing where I remember playing through Dark Souls 3, because this is, that was the first Souls game that I've beaten, fair and square. And even though I was losing a lot, I always felt like, okay, it's fair. I was not grinding levels. I was not doing cheese things. And at the end of the day, I felt good. I was like, okay, it was just not my day. Tomorrow I'll do it again. And I was the calmest person on earth. You could have, like, literally shot me in the knee and with an arrow, and I would go like, I can't be a traveler anymore. And I was just cool. There was no this like rage, right? The same goes with, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, Dark Souls 1 and 2. Again, I enjoyed those games, right? 2 I really like. And then you go to fights like here, right? When you have Berserk of Kazan, when you have this one, or Blasphemous, right? Too. There's like this way, like almost near the end, like really annoying guy. I forgot the name. Or not Neo, but there was like one more game that they've done. I'll have to go and like check. But you know what I mean, right? There was like in China as well, or like some Dynasty, whatever. And those were the games that they had bosses that genuinely pissed me off. That I was raging. That were attacks that were just unclear. And I think this is the big issue, where they're doing the Souls-like things. Or Lords of the Fallen, the guy on the horse. This guy, right? I mean, again, solely annoying, dude. But when you look at it, right, from the perspective of Souls-like, it's not to be hard for the sake of being hard. It's Lies of P, the fantastic Souls-like. And I think they've done it quite nice, right? Like, Lies of P is a great example that you can do a nice Souls-like game with a really nice progression and bosses. Okay, besides this, there was like one boss that you couldn't like actually go and purchase because like the crowd was crumbling. But okay, in the story it made sense. And you have things that are just good, right? That you want to explore, that you go and you want to look at environment, that even though you have run back, you still enjoy that to a certain degree, of course, right? That that, okay, this time I haven't beaten the guy, but this is the mistake I've made, right? This is the mistake I've made. This is that. I should have done this a bit different. Like, you learn that. You learn the patterns. You learn the things. And I genuinely think that now you have games, and again, Wu-Chang is another example of that there's like no learning curve. It's like, okay, he's gonna do in a span of 2 minutes, he'll give me one window to win with him, and that's it. And you go, all right, well, great. Then what? Then I'm gonna have to go back and kind of dodge everything again. There's gonna be another just shitstorm of stuff that's coming my way that I can't really dodge. I can't do really anything. Of course, as you can see on the screen, you can respec, but that's, the other thing. But still, it's not enjoyable. Because every single time you go, you don't learn that. Especially if you're just looking at the guy and you're one-shotted, right? And you might even say, like, even in that video that I'm playing you right now, right, of me playing, I've tried on Baikaru. This was the moment where I gave up trying to do, like, great strategies of, like, magic or other things. I was just like, screw that. Big sword, flame, it just works, right? It burns through the enemies. It's a bit, you might say it's a bit of a cheese, but again, there's like not enough time for anything else, right? Pre-patch, the same here, where you had, you get knocked down and you still got hit because you couldn't stand up. And this is what I'm afraid of coming further that we're gonna have so many games branded Souls-likes that we're not gonna enjoy them anymore. I mean, I'm losing my interest now, right? After especially, Night Rain, which was crap to me. And not because I had no people to play with, but the fact that you have to go there and bare minimum 40 minutes, and you may not, and you literally can waste those 40 minutes because at the end there might not be, a reward because you've died or your team died, whole thing. It was crap. And I just wish to go back to those, when we had just couple of games that were really hard. Great. Let's not call them Souls-likes. And just make them enjoyable experience. Have, nice level design, right? Where you don't have BS attacks. Where you don't have things that... It's not like you either know or not know, but unfair deaths, right? Status effects that no one explains, mechanics that are hard to explain, things like that. And you look at the Gamescom and you see the game after game after game, just Souls-like, and I'm watching this with a friend of mine, and she goes like, why we need those? I'm like, I don't know why we need so many of them, because it's not even a badge of honor of beating those games anymore, right? It's not. Again, this is like the Village Seeds post-patch where healing is faster, right? So, you go, you play the first, you purchase the game, and you have already your, a beta tester for the difficulty, which is annoying, right? And I don't know. I honestly feel that this is a genre that's gonna be a beaten to death. It's gonna be dead horse, and they still will tell him to go on a stroll. I can't. I genuinely can't go through that. And after, games like that, you try to go to, like, again, other genres, and I don't know, I miss the moments where we had really, really nice wide variety of games, because I feel like, and maybe this is just me, but I feel like every single year or two we have this boom of one genre, and this is mainly what we have, right? So now this is a year of Souls-likes, right? We only have Souls-likes, nothing more, nothing less. A couple of years ago, Battle Royale, nothing more, nothing less. Then, and I can assure you that in a year or two we'll have clones of Baldur's Gate 3, because again, at the time of development, right? Looter shooters, right? It was like this whole thing. Zombies, 10 or 12 years ago, was all about that. And I don't know, maybe it's just something in me, but every time you have this genre that is beaten to death, I take a step back and I'm like, no, I don't want to play that anymore. And this is kind of, again, Wu-Chang, you might say, yeah, it wasn't Game Pass. So I was like, yeah, screw it. But going and purchasing a game now, it's not for me. I honestly think it's not for me anymore, because it's just too much. It's like too much of that nonsense, and I feel like I genuinely feel the fatigue, because it's not enjoyable. It's not fun. You beat those games because you're pissed and you just want to show the game that you're the boss and they're the bitch, and there's nothing, right? Because and this is something funny, now I have to think about it, since I've been in Elden Ring, right? Because I went 3, Bloodborne, 2, 1, Elden Ring. Since I've been in Elden Ring, maybe there was one more, Lies of P, okay. I didn't feel good about finishing Souls-like game, or Souls game in general. I was like, yeah, I beat it. Cool. Another game. Like, I don't treat it again as something I will play and enjoy. It's more of a let's beat it and be over with, right? It's like one and done. It's not something, again, I don't want to come back to Wu-Chang. I don't want to come back to those games. They're just another thing that is quite weird. Because like to Dark Souls, I can come back anytime. More than happy to. But to those games, I don't. I honestly don't even feel like coming back anymore. Because what is there? Right? Another, again, Wu-Chang, I've beaten all bosses besides one because I screwed up a quest. Right? Because I've gave chisels to the guy that owns the shop. Which would be great to, know that, but okay, I'm not mad, right? Like one boss out of 24, it's still okay. Right? And I think you'll see that here. Yeah, this is the guy, right, with that you should not give chisels to. But I don't know, like one side of me really wants those types of games, but other is just like, dude, you're doing the same thing. There's no point. There's no achievement in it anymore. Right? Even when I talk with friends of mine, they're like, yeah, I've beaten it. I was like, yeah, cool. It's no longer about like, oh, I've beaten it. Oh, alright, so what was the strategy here? So have you seen that? There's no more conversations even, like, deeper about lore of the games or other things like that. It's just like, yeah, I've done it, let's move on. And how sad it is, right? That it's just that. Because like I remember when Elden Ring, almost every person I knew that was playing it had a different build, a different approach. We all talked about it. It was like, yeah, I'm using this. All right, cool. Oh, you're using this app that you have map. All right, have you seen this? Have you seen that? Oh, you've done that quest. How did you... Like, we were sharing. And when I look, currently at the state of Soulslikes, I don't see that. I see rage. I see people calling it, either Git good or, things like that. And there's no talk about, yeah, those games help. And I think developers forget about that as well, that it's not about you being hard as fuck with millions of mobs and artificial difficulty. Because let's be honest, just the more mobs you have on the screen or status effects that, just happen, or, boss with infinite combos, this is artificially raising the bar, right? Artificially raising difficulty level. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable. It's not cool. And you're gonna be like, alright, so I'm gonna try a different one. And different one's gonna do the same thing. And then you realize, you know what? I'm better off going back to Dark Souls. Going back to Elden Ring even. Because it's just too much. And they don't understand why people play those games. Why we want those. But what can we do, right? So yeah, that's me just ranting, but I had to talk about it because it pissed me off. And yeah, I think I'm done for quite, and I don't know for how long, but I am done with Soulslikes for some time, definitely for foreseeable future. Because there's like no reason for me to play them anymore, right? There is nothing about them that makes me happy anymore. And there's just too many of them, and they don't understand what they are. But that's just my opinion. So let me know, do you think there's just too many Soulslikes currently? Let me know in the comment section. And yeah, see you guys in another video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, bye. And yeah, so this is the video that you will see, I don't know when, because it's private. I don't know if I can show you, but you can see kind of, yeah, it's private. So yeah, it was my gameplay, so it's me still. So thank you so much for watching. Take care.